spiel that I always tell, which is that started streaming last year in about July. I joined a whole bunch of Discords that said that they were going to be really supportive and they were going to help me grow my channel and they were going to do all these cool things for me. And at the end of the day, I spent a lot of time with people like this guy and a lot of the people that are in the 20 rating people's channels and being cool and helping them grow their channels. And at the end of the day, there were still one or two people sitting in my chat all the time. And not that that was the most important piece of it, but it just seemed like I was spending a lot of time chasing people around and I wasn't really getting a lot back. So what I did was I decided on January 1st of this year to choose 20 people, which, by the way, we finally just chose our 20th person. I think she's in chat. And
she is.
What I basically did is I started out with all the people that were really supportive of me already, and not that that was a criteria. And what I've tried to do for the last 4 months is sub to their channels, follow their channels, be in their channels, get to know people in their channels. And obviously, you guys always know I just tweet the crap out of you guys whenever you are actually live, and I notice. So with all that said, one of the things I thought was really cool and unique was that I would get with each one of them at some point in time, and I would sit down and try and ask them some questions that maybe would give some answers to people that would watch this that they wouldn't normally get just watching their stream. So let's talk about the sex change first of all. Totally kidding, by the way. Totally kidding. Only she, and that's the thing is like when you get to know some people, like you kind of know where your line is with them. It's like I knew he'd think that was funny. That's really good. That was really good.
Is this because of the shit that I was saying during Realm last night?
No. You're listen. We won't even get. Let's not. This is not what that's about. So what I'm going to try to do for the next 15 or 20 minutes is ask this guy some questions that will hopefully get some answers to people that don't know. If you don't know Shiny, you know I know a little bit about him. I'd love to find out more, but the things I do know is like he lives in Canada. He loves hockey. He loves Canucks hockey. He has a Canucks jersey on right now.
I don't know why the hell I love Canucks hockey, but I do.
You know, but the first question I have for you, man, where I want to start with you, Shiny, is this. So when I first met you, the references that you would have to things that are from not an age that you were alive in is astounding to me. And I've asked you this question in chat before, and even when we've been on stream, but I really want to try to understand, how is it that you are basically a kid that grew up in the 80s and 90s, but you're like 22 years old?
23.
Excuse me, 23 years old. What happened? How did this come about, is what I want to know.
Okay, well, I have an older sister.
Okay.
She was born in 91, so obviously a lot of my knowledge of pop culture comes from her.
Great. Okay, that makes
like
sense.
my taste in music, it's all like 90s, like 90s to 2000s, like the grunge movement to the pop punk movement to grunge and pop punk really. But then my movie tastes are just like my all over the place. So like I mean, obviously like I don't even know what my favorite movie of all time is, but like I watch a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of garbage. Like I love 80s horror movies. I love action movies. I love 80s action movies. Like the really macho like movies like Predator and Rambo and Die Hard, stuff like that.
Nice.
I don't know. It just kind of happened. I mean, a lot of it has to do with my dad. I'm really close with my dad.
Okay.
And he kind of taught me everything I needed to know about the world through stupid garbage you'd find in the 80s.
Fair enough. And so I try not to be too personal because this is all over the world and all over the internet if someone wanted to find it. But I know that you live in kind of the central part of Canada. Did you grow up there? Were you born and raised there?
Yeah. I've grown up in Saskatchewan. I've lived here my whole life. I've lived in the same house my whole life.
Wow. Wow, okay. And so you're in your like parents' house and your like room you grew up in right now?
No, this isn't the room I grew up in. This was my sister's room when I was growing up, but when she moved away to go to school, I took this room.
Stream room.
Yeah, that's actually what it is.
Eat your heart out, Ninja. You're not the only one. Okay, and so let's talk about this. I ask almost every one of you guys the same question. Tell me the first game that you can remember playing, video game, and it doesn't have to be console. Like, was it a handheld? What's the first game that you remember being cracked out on, and how old were you?
Super Mario Brothers for the NES, and I probably wasn't old enough to be playing it yet.
Interesting. And how were you at that game?
Oh, dreadful.
Yeah, you were
Back
like
then?
one
Good
dash
lord.
two. You couldn't get past 1-2.
I don't know. Like, honestly, like, okay, I guess it's the earliest game I remember playing, because, like, when my mom was pregnant with my sister, she bought my dad an NES, and, like, that was all we had for the longest time. So I played that, but then I got my Nintendo 64. And then I played games like Donkey Kong 64. I played Spider-Man, stuff like that. First game I was really good at, though, was GoldenEye 64.
Okay, so that's actually going to lead me perfectly into the next question. So there's a young man named Delta, who I believe you may be real life friends with. Are you real life friends with him?
Not real life friends, but we are good friends.
You guys know each other really well. I'm guessing he might be Canadian as well. Is he Canadian as well, or is he not?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you don't know him that well, but you know him. I know that you know him online. He is an absolute James Bond fanatic, dude.
Yeah.
So GoldenEye was really your first, like, hey man, I'm cracking out for like all night. I'm not going out with girls. I'm not going out with my friends. I'm playing GoldenEye tonight and like drinking beers at home by myself. That's your...
Yes, I'm drinking beers at like 5 years old.
Oh, so that's what I'm asking you. So like, what was the first game that like literally made you antisocial at this point? That's the game I'm looking for.
Okay, what's the game that really made me antisocial?
You know what I mean, right? The game where your friends are like, hey man, let's go out and do something, like when we're 12, and you're like, yeah, I'm cool, man, I'm not coming out.
Okay, that was a little later. Like, okay, when I was a little kid, I played games, but they weren't like everything I did. Like, I actually went outside for the first maybe 12 years of my life. And then I got an Xbox 360 and my life changed forever.
Okay.
And then I got an Xbox 360, and then I got Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 2.
Okay.
And Halo 3 and Modern Warfare 2 ruined my fucking life.
So that was where you found your love for shooters, first-person shooters, and Modern Warfare 2, right?
Yeah, I mean, I played them before. I had GoldenEye, I had Nightfire. My favorite game of all time is probably The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. But...
And that's an open world game, right? That was like kind of the first version of the open world game for that?
It was kind of like an early open world thing, yeah, sort of. But, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the first games that I really cracked my teeth into, because, like, obviously with those single-player games, like, they ended eventually. But with a game like Halo or Modern Warfare 2, you could play that stuff forever. Like, back in those days, my friends and I would be staying up until like 3, 4 in the morning on school nights playing it.
Yeah, I was up till 3 last night. I had to work today. Playing Realm. No, somebody kept me up last night.
Yeah.
Like
somebody was carrying you.
Yeah,
somebody was carrying you to win. It's fine.
All right, so let's get into the deep dive questions then. What's something that we don't know about you that you probably don't talk about a lot, but that has really shaped your life? Whether it be an event that happened, something that maybe happened in your family, maybe something in a relationship. Tell us something that you're comfortable enough to tell us that maybe changed kind of the direction of like your character in life.
Semi-recently, actually.
Okay.
Right out of high school, I got a job at the same place my dad was working. I got a job first as a stock boy for this repair shop that worked on disaster restoration equipment.
Oh, wow, okay.
And, like, I just started as a stock boy, and as I worked there, like, they started training me in how to fix stuff, and I ended up being a mechanic there.
Wow, okay.
But about a year ago, I just came to the conclusion that just wasn't for me anymore. Like, the place was run terribly. I just couldn't handle it anymore. Like, the hours were garbage. The pay was great, but I just kind of had to make the executive decision, yeah, this is just not for me.
Okay.
So I left that job, and I haven't been able to find one since.
Okay, and I'm aware of that. You and I have talked about that a little bit.
So that's kind of led me into streaming. Like I picked up streaming just as something to do to fill that time because I've been just really bored around here. And yeah, that's where I'm at right about now. But I mean, but streaming taught me a lot about myself that I didn't even know about. It taught me how to be comfortable in front of a camera, which is just like, what the hell?
Yeah, we're not the best looking guys in the world, you and I, for sure.
No, we're really not.
At least you got 20-some years on me as far as age, though. You've got a chance to Vancouver, baby. So then, so then trying to dig a little bit more on that. So what you're telling me is that at a pretty young age, 22, 23 years old, something happened in your life where you thought, you know what, this isn't like what I want to do like for the next 20 years like my dad did or whatever it is. You thought like I want to cut my own path basically is what you're saying.
Well, yeah, okay, like that job originally, like my original plan was that I wanted to go into broadcasting. I wanted to go into radio really badly. I wanted to go into like sports talk radio.
Okay.
But because of I had to give up on that dream because I'm looking at the way that these networks are going with these NBA TV deals and with stuff like that, like the amount of money that Sportsnet, our national cover the NHL, the amount they're paying for their TV rights for the league, they've had to lay off like 30% of their staff. So it just really isn't feasible for somebody new to cut their teeth into that business right now because you just had Bob Cole, one of the most legendary hockey announcers of all time, retire at like 90.
Wow.
Like these guys have been going forever. Like it's just like it's like I have enough money saved up that I could easily pay for something like that, like some kind of schooling like that, but I'm not going to do that until I know for sure what I want to do.
Now, do you have some hobbies that we don't know about that you don't talk about on stream? Do you write? Do you make videos? Do you do editing? Is there something about you that we're not aware of that you like to do when you're not streaming?
I mean, some people know this about me. Like, I really like to play guitars, and more importantly, I like to work on guitars.
Interesting. All right, this is your interview, but I'm going to tell you a really cool story that's going to blow your mind. So I'm living in a town called Rancho Santa Margarita in Southern California.
You're lagging a lot for me on my end here. Hold on a second.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
So I'm living in a city, and my wife's daughter at the time, she's 10 years old. And she's playing with this girl in the backyard of our house we owned at the time. And as a father, stepfather, I'm like, hey, who's this kid? Who's this kid? Oh, this is Annie. I said, okay, Annie, what's your last name, Annie? She says, Annie Jackson. I said, oh, Annie Jackson, like Jackson Guitars. And she goes, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, my dad is Grover Jackson.
Oh, my God.
I go, where do you live? Right? She lived one street up. And I walked the kids home that night. And then the guy's garage, Shiny, was his freaking workshop, dude. Of all the stuff he's working on right now. Priceless guitars, people's guitars, like just mind blown. I literally did say a word. I'm like, nice to meet you. Really older guy. Like, why is that old of a guy have a 10-year-old kid? But anyway, just a quick story that I thought you'd enjoy because you build guitars.
That's awesome.
So yeah, actually, I played guitar one night and you popped in and you were giving me props. I was blown away because I just fiddle with the thing. I'm not really good at it at all. I couldn't even tune the thing without a tuner, by the way. I have a terrible ear for it. So, besides streaming, besides working at your father's place, besides playing guitar, what are you really chasing after right now? Like, what's your goal right now with this streaming thing? Like, where are you looking to go with it, or are you looking to go anywhere with it? What are some of the things you're working on?
With the stream right now, I just kind of look at it as something to fill my time. Something I really like to do. It's I've never considered myself very numbers oriented just because, that's out of your control. What I can control is I can improve my own content. I can find my niche. I can figure out exactly what my place on Twitch is. And like I haven't found that yet, but I'm still kind of looking for it. Like, I don't know, messing my hand up was kind of a massive blow to that because I was on a huge roll before I did.
You were on a huge roll. Let's talk about that for a sec. If people don't know, tell us a little bit about what happened to you. If you don't mind.
So the hand injury was it was a weird mess of two things at once. Like, so the way that I was sitting in this chair for a while was really bad it was some minor nerve damage. So what I did basically, so like you have 3 nerves in your arm here, and there's one that moves up here, and this is like your carpal tunnel, like that's what one of them goes through. But then there's another one that goes up the elbow right here, called the ulnar nerve, and I smashed my elbow really hard, and I was like feeling numbness all the way up into my fingertips, just in these 2 fingers. And yeah, and I couldn't really play any games or anything for a solid month and a half.
Okay, so let's talk about the reason why you're in the 20. Let's talk about that real quick. Every single person that I have selected, and you guys are aware of the fact I never ask you guys for anything. And occasionally I'll say, hey, can you guys go give somebody some love? But I don't ask you guys to come to my channel. I don't ask you guys to sub. I don't ask you guys to donate. But something that seems to exist with each and every one of you, and I didn't do this on purpose, it's just maybe this is just what I saw in each of you. But there is something in the core of you, man. I don't know if it's how you grew up. I don't know if it's something, like I said, that happened to you in your life. But you are an unbelievable giver of your time and supporter of people. And unlike really anybody else in the 20, man, you have a unique thing about you that I'm not sure if you're aware of it. But when you do stop by, you immediately, are hilarious, dude. And it's so subtle. It's so fucking subtle, how hilarious you are. You'll come in, and it's you'll come in, and I feel like I figured it out. You'll come in, and you'll just be there for about 10 minutes watching, and you'll just be waiting for the opportunity to then just drop in a quick little, hey, buddy, watch yourself. And you just be like, wait, what? Shiny, hey, welcome to the chat. Let's talk a little bit about your lurking and what it is that's driving you at the core of obviously who you are, that makes you such a giving individual of your time. And I know that you do it for more than just me. Can you tell me a little bit about how that developed, where that came from, and what's your philosophy on this whole thing? Because it's awesome.
On lurking and stuff like that?
No, I mean just what causes a guy to get online and instead of turning on a video game and popping his stream on, start out with basically going, walking, running, laughing, trolling through 10 or 15 channels on a nightly basis because you do it.
It's just my sense of humor, man. I just want to make my presence known. My sense of humor is very I roast people. It's what I do. So I just want to I want people to know that I'm there. I'm hanging out. I got their back whenever they need it. But I want to do it in a way that makes sure that they know that they suck. So I just sit there. I wait for my perfect opportunity. This, I get this from my grandpa. My grandpa is 91 years old. He is in amazing health for how old he is, but the only thing that really aged him is he's not very talkative anymore. But the guy just sits there. He sits. You can hang out with him for 3 hours, and he will say a grand total of 6 words, but he will cut you deep with those 6 words. The guy is just brilliant. He picks his spots. He is a damn vulture. And you gotta hang with that, man.
I haven't done this on a lot of other of the interviews, if you will, but I'm going to say this right now. I always tell people in the chat, that ask me, how you grow in your channel, how are you, how do you do this, how do you do that? And I always tell them, I said, listen, man, if you spend enough time hanging out on other people's channels, eventually you'll get a fan. Someone will become a fan of you. And I think what's happened is you've come to my channel enough times where some of these kids that hang out in the channel occasionally, they become a fan of yours. And then I find out, oh, dude, I was watching Shiny play around last night, dude. Dude, Shiny was cussing and screaming and yelling, playing hockey or WrestleMania or something online. And it's interesting, man, because I picked up a fan from being in your channel, which is Delta. And that kid comes by my channel about once or twice a week and just pops in and says hello. He's kind of quiet.
He's a great guy. I love Delta.
He's kind of quiet and unassuming. He favorites all my shit online. And I try to tell people, man, that's how we're doing this. It's not rocket science how we've grown this community of people. It's just go and be yourself in someone's chat. Don't have to be the center of attention necessarily. You don't have to just sit there and lurk and not say anything. Just go get in there and get to know some people. And the next thing you know, 2 or 3 people will follow you and come check you out. And you times that by 20 freaking people, you're talking about 60 people in a community that's pretty amazing in my opinion, And it's you guys, not me. It's you guys that have done this. So, so a couple last questions for you, and I'll let you off the hook. Are you really a fighter? Do you really get in fights? Based on the way that you talk, are you and your buddies down at the local pub on a Saturday night just fist fighting in the parking lot, just a Donnybrook in the parking lot, as you call it.
Not in the slightest. Listen, I think I've punched 2 people in my life, and they were both in elementary school.
And if you ever see them walking in the street, you're going to run the other way?
Well, one of them, absolutely, yes. No, the other one, no, that guy's a pansy. I could take him if I needed to. But
okay, so that persona online is all bullshit. Now you guys know that's bullshit.
It's complete garbage.
So when it says "Fight me, Cosmic," go ahead and say no problem. Where do you want to meet up?
Go ahead and drop the bits. Call me on my bluff. Turtle.
Yeah, where do you want to meet up so I can beat you up, kid?
Where do you want to meet up so I can get as far away from there as humanly possible and maybe send you a nice fruit basket?
And then I'll get a little super personal here with you. So, are both your parents still with us? Are they still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. And they still are together? They live with you at home and everything?
Yeah.
What do they think about all this? What do they think about you turning your sister's room into a streaming emporium?
Well, when she moved, they were like, I moved up here, like, I mean, the way that this is set up, it's a 3-story house, and I live in the attic. Yeah, 23 years old, living in my parents' attic, streaming video games instead of getting a job. What a loser that guy, right?
I would give anything. Oh, my God.
But, no, they're just happy I'm doing something.
Interesting.
They're just happy I'm doing something instead of, like, applying for, like, I apply for, like, 5 jobs a day. So instead of applying for like 5 jobs a day and then just sitting on the couch doing nothing, at least I have some kind of creative outlet. I do still leave the house. I make sure to leave the house just so I can, expose myself to the world. Not like that.
This guy's very sus when we're playing rum. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my God.
Tune in later to see that shit going on. All right, man. and then I think the last 2 questions are this. So tell me who inspires you. Or what inspires you, or who inspires you?
I don't know. I'm kind of a self-driven dude, in all honesty. Like, I mean, there were a couple of content creators that inspired me to really get myself together when it comes to streaming. Yeah, sure. Never a Kings fan. Come on.
There has to be somebody, though, that when you watched their stream that first time, you went, fuck, man, I could do this. There had to be some catalyst for you. You didn't just plug all this shit in and go, I'm going to be a streamer. Come on.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because the really big one actually just went live like 5 seconds ago. There's a bigger content creator. He lives up in Calgary. He goes by the name Proton John.
Okay.
And I found him like got to be like 12 years ago, back when he was still doing YouTube videos. And I followed him over to Twitch, and I've been watching this guy for like ever. He's like, he totally shaped my sense of humor. He didn't totally shape my sense of humor. My sense of humor comes from a variety of terrible things. But yeah, I've been watching that guy for so long. Like, I mean, back in the day when I was like in elementary school and shit, this guy was inspiring me. I thought I was going to make Let's Plays and stuff like that. What was I thinking there? But no, I figured whatever. I can just, if I can throw on Streamlabs OBS and just start talking some shit and playing a game and having fun, then yeah, I can do that too. Why not?
Okay. And then my last question is, what if somebody watches this thing and they're brand new to streaming and they're wondering, what's this whole thing about, and what are some tips I can get from some guys that have been sitting around for a while doing it? What's your best advice to somebody who's just getting started in streaming?
My best advice is to not worry about numbers at all. Just don't just play a game because it's popular. Don't just do this because it's popular. Don't worry about lurk for lurk communities or follow for follow communities. Just go out there, play what you enjoy, join a couple of Discords, meet some people, talk to some people. That's what it's really all about.
Dude, I couldn't have said that better myself. Well, listen, man. You know that I totally dig you, dude. I mean, you're the only guy that I know of on Twitch right now that we can really talk hockey and on a serious level. And I don't know if that's what binds us together, is the fact that we both have a passion and a love for a game that disappoints us so often.
Oh my God.
With our teams. I couldn't be more proud to have you as part of one of these 20 people that I choose to follow around and promote. Wow, he's being a weirdo right now. Whoa.
Sorry, I found the skeleton key, and I'm just like thinking, yeah, look at that. I can balance it right on the hat, right there.
Guys, this is the content you tune in for right here. If you go to this guy's channel, this is the kind of random shit that goes on. I'm telling you, if you go watch his channel, this is entertaining shit. It's like, what is he doing right now? I'm about to cry and pour my heart out. He's fucking hanging a key from his hat. What the
Hey, listen, man. Listen, I'm just trying to light the mood. By the way, I solved that Rubik's Cube.
Oh my god. But dude, seriously, man, from the bottom of my heart, you know, you're one of the good guys. You're one of the people that was one of the very first people I chose to follow around and call one of the 20. I know that I don't have to... Oh, hold on.
I have a funny story about the 20, though.
Hold on. I don't have to ask your permission to follow you around and support you. And at the same time, I try to make sure that the people I do that to are at least okay with it. Because sometimes when you put the 20 on your thing, people are like, what's this 20? Is that your team? Or are you making money off of this? No, I'm not really making shit off of it. I'm just trying to support 20 people instead of pretend like I follow thousands and I have time for all of them. I truly do have the time for you 20 guys. So I want to just say thank you for doing this, man. And then, what were you going to say? A story? But he's got a story about the 20. Okay. I can't wait to hear. I hope it's a good story.
Okay, so...
to edit this out later.
I was actually literally right there. I saw the creation of the 20 live, but you didn't know this. But I had slobs open because I play with my alerts a lot. I've made probably like 50, 60 alerts in my life, and I have like 10 live right now because like I've thrown away a bunch. But I had Streamlabs OBS open when you followed me with the 20 account.
Wow.
And I was messing around with my alerts, and then suddenly one of them goes off, and I'm like, wait, what? I didn't do that. Who's following me right now? What the hell is this, the 20 thing? And you hadn't had everything set up yet, and I was like, that actually bothered me when I went to bed that night. I was like, what the hell is the 20?
Yes!
The Twitch 20.
Yeah, and that's the thing, dude. I tried to get the 20, like, that actual name was already taken, or they wouldn't let me have it, so I chose the Twitch 20. And it's kind of cool, man, because that channel doesn't have anything on it other than just you guys in whatever random order you're live. It just hosts you the whole time. But if someone goes there and clicks on the followers, it'll see that the only 20 people it follows are you guys. So it's there for you guys. This whole thing is for you guys. Again, I want to thank you, man. If you want a game later tonight, man, you let me know. But God bless you, dude. I look forward to seeing your channel grow, and if there's anything I can do or anybody else can do for you, please never, hesitate to reach out and ask us for the help, man.
Absolutely.
All right,
and I always got all your guys' backs, you know that.
All right, brother. Well, I will see you later. Thanks again. We'll have this thing up hopefully by the end of the night, and we'll get it out there on YouTube. We'll get it out there on Twitter. We'll get it out there on Instagram, and we'll get that out there on the Twitch 20 channel and my channel and your channel, and everybody can see this shit again if they need to. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much, Shiny.
See you later, man.
All right, brother. There he is, people.